What is up, my people? We have Puerto Rico in the house along with 28 locations, guys. We have something spicy just for you guys today. We have top 32 match, Alvaro Jirau piloting his Amber Steel locations deck versus Alvin Hernandez, Lorgains, myself, piloting Amber Steel Mufasa. This was during the Seattle DLC challenge, and we're gonna go over the match with my commentary so I can give you guys my thoughts on what was going on through my head at that time. But we have the deck list pulled up here just for you guys to see, and if you want to screenshot it so that way you have it in store. But really quick to go over it, it is mega spicy. The locations list is insanely aggressive. This was an awesome meta call, and Alvaro called it. He put in the work and he made it all the way to top 32. So Alvaro, shout out to you. Amazing job. And of course, my list, Amber Steel Mufasa, which is a little bit heavy on the characters. Mufasa is the MVP in this deck. Well, we're gonna hop in, go over the match, and have some fun here today, guys. All right, how's everyone doing on the chat? Thank you so much, Mr. G. Appreciate it. What is good, fam? All right, it is game time. So mulligan strategy for me. Lester, what's up? Welcome to the chat. So mulligan strategy for myself. I did see his list and I realized I've never played, well, you probably can join me on this one, but I've never played anything like this before. 28 locations, the rest is characters, 4 babooms. So I figured he's going to be very aggressive. I saw the SMEs and I kept all my SMEs. I wanted to have strong characters with high strength, so I ended up keeping all of them. We did see, I believe, 2 SMEs, 1 dock. I wish they would pan to my hand so I can go over what I was seeing. We played the Cinderella 1-drop. We do have a strength in the hand, though. I believe I do remember having a strength in the hand. And my game plan was to get a character on board. I want to get as many characters on board as I can to deal with their locations, because if he pops off and drops all of his locations, then we're going to be in a really tough spot. So this is where SME comes in and helps deal a lot of damage into these locations. Also, the Lawrence is a really good character because of his 4 strength. So looking at our hand, we do have a strength of a Raging Fire. We have the Smee, the Big Cindy, Rapunzel. So really good stuff. We have Oyola in the chat. What is up, my brother? Oyola was here with us yesterday on our live stream. It was my pleasure. It was great having you. It was great having you on the channel, man. Appreciate you so much. Okay, so our opponent leads with a Smee. So no locations. He wants to put a lot of lore pressure on in the form of his characters, which is absolutely fine. We're going to drop a Smee, and this way we can take out his Daisy, but I do see more value in Smee challenging locations, so that way he doesn't take any direct damage from characters. Plus, his Daisy Duck is going to be fueling up our hand because we don't have that many non-characters in our deck besides the 4 Storm and the 2 Strength. So Lawrence, Paul in the chat says, I played against this deck yesterday with the Amber Steel Mufasa build, and the MVP is definitely Lawrence. Yes, Lawrence puts in a lot of work. Just being able to challenge locations and not taking any damage is amazing. And is also a perfect curve with the 1-drop Daisy, the Smee on 2, Lawrence on 3. It represents a lot of pressure. So now our opponent is going to drop the mines and takes out our Cinderella, which is, I guess it's fine. I did want to use her to sing Strength of Raging Fire, so he took her out. Now we have to drop even more pressure on the board. The 7 Dwarves Mine means he can move one of his characters into the mine to deal 1 damage. If it's a knight, he deals 2 damage. Our hand is stacked with Smees, so this is going to put us in a really good position. And the Daisy is going to serve as a challenger once that Smee gets dropped to 2 damage. Unless he plays a hook, which offsets the damage on Smee. So we deal 3 damage to the location. Just like I said, I wanted to put damage on the location because it's basically free. Smee doesn't take anything in return besides the end of turn damage. And now this is going to put him in a really tough spot because he is down to 3 cards in hand, but he does have the dock, and the dock's going to let him draw 2 cards for free. He does have the one drop Daisy, fire the cannons. So he has to play out 1. Unfortunately, he doesn't have any Inkables. And if you can see my hand, I have 2 more Smees in my hand and a Chiempo and the strength. I want to save the strength in case he drops any characters that we can't get to. And we are going to have a full board. So that strength is going to put in a lot of work here. What is up, Weapon X? We are covering the stream. We're covering my top 32 match here versus the locations. Very interesting match. I didn't really have too much of a clear game plan in the beginning. I just wanted to see how the deck ran. I just knew that high strength characters were going to be very key. Yeah, the strength of Raging Fire is very good against the John Silver if we're able to clear out his locations and deal a lot of damage to him. Strength of Raging Fire comes in very clutch. So he's taking a bit of time here to think about what and how he's going to maneuver the field. He has the option of removing my Smee with his cannon and playing out a Daisy. Or he plays out a threat, the Daisy Duck, so he can keep questing in and plays the dock to refuel his hand and potentially giving him a card to ink that turn. Because he's only at 3. He is running quite a bit of Uninkables, and unfortunately for him, he ends up seeing all of them, or most of them, in his hand. So Smee's going to move into the location. He takes out my fresh Smee by Fire the Cannons. So he's planning on next turn playing out his Daisy Duck. Oh, he quests in. I see a Rapunzel. So Rapunzel's going to be very good. So next turn, his plan is to play out the Daisy, then play out the dock to refresh his hand and draw 2 cards. I think the dock is fantastic. His stats are very decent too, being a 1/3. But as soon as you play the dock, he's already done his job. He draws you the 2 cards, so it's really hard to interact with that. Coming up on my turn, I have 2 options. I either play out my Rapunzel, my okay, so I end up going for his board here. And since my Daisy has 3 damage and he has nothing on board, I felt really comfortable playing out my Rapunzel to refresh my hand and have more options for the following turn. We ink a Chiempo. He's too much of a high cost character, so I inked him. I don't want to drop him and use 5 ink because I'd rather play, say, a Lawrence and a Smee. Bigger threats. Bigger threats are going to be way better into this matchup. What is up, Sean P? How you doing, my dude? I like the Shaka icon thing. We ended up setting those up for you guys. So we ended up setting up for the members. For our members, we set up different emojis that you can use, exclusive emojis you can use in the chat. But going back to the game, he decides to be aggro. He plays out the dock, refreshes his hand, draws 2. That was a very good move here. And he inks the Neverland, which is also good because it's ink. And whatever he draws into, he's going to be playing it out. He does have a lot of 1-drops, a lot of 2-drops. We see the Storm, and that goes straight to the bottom of the deck. Was it a Storm? I believe it was. So now he's putting on a lot of pressure. He has 4, 5, 6 lore on board every turn. And this is where we have to start. This is where we have to start cooking up his board. Our hand is refueled. We have a lot of cards in hand, but this is going to mean nothing if we can't play out enough characters, if we don't have enough ink to play it all out. So the game plan is here to play out the Lawrence because of his 4/4 stat line is just clutch. We play out the Piglet or the Smee. Now any location he drops, we can cook with these characters. But at some point, we're going to have to keep put pressure by questing in. So we end up taking out his Daisy Duck. We trade, which is okay. Daisy Duck was good in the beginning for us to fuel up our hand, but now since it is late game and he's already at 14 lore, it's danger zone. He does see the Felix. I think this is a really cool tech card, really cool card in this deck, because when you play him out and you have a location in play, you get to draw a card. His shift, he can shift into his, I believe he's a 2-4 or 2-5 character. And his shift character says your locations gain 2 extra willpower. Thanks, Marco. I'm glad you love the e-notes. They're all like Mickey hand gestures. Ms. Lorgains cooked them up last night, just for you guys. She put in a lot of work building these and having access to these, because you can't just pick and choose. You have to create them, create this link. She went through this whole process with them, but yeah, she put in a lot of work to get these emojis on our members for our member access. Okay, so this turn is gonna be a little tricky. He has 1, 2, 3, 4 questing on board. We need to deal with his board and his locations now. We have enough firepower to take out at least one of his locations. The underworld has 6 willpower, so it's a beefy location. I think we have, actually no, we have enough to take out both of the locations. We play out the Tinkerbell. So I played the Tinkerbell because we have her shift in hand. So if he ends up playing anything on his next turn, then we have the ability to shift, challenge into the Fix-It, and deal 2 damage to any character that he plays. So this was a very thought out plan here. Locations gains, let's go. It's really cold here today. Okay, now this is where we have to turn the tide and be aggressive. We have another Simi on board. We are representing 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 questing power on board. So in 2 turns, we can take game. For now, we have to deal with his board before we start questing in. Because him getting close to 20 is going to be very, very dangerous. This is where I was thinking about how to maneuver the damage on the locations. And I think I did math it out correctly. There was a lot of math involved in this one. So Lawrence is going to go in to the underworld. The underworld is banished. I wanted to get the underworld off the field because he can pay 3. He can pay 3 to return any character he wants back to his hand. So that means next turn, if he quested in while putting the Fix-It Felix in the underworld, he can get his Daisy Duck back and play it out the same turn. Again, putting on a lot of pressure with these lore gains. Lore gains. Weapon X says, need a lore gains long sleeve and hoodie for this upcoming cold season. For reals, dude. Dude, I am freezing. Especially with this smoothie, this frozen smoothie. I'm definitely cold. I need like a little, I need a beanie too, a little Lore Gains beanie. That Lore Gains merch is coming up soon, guys. What is up, Rafa? This smoothie is strawberry, blueberry, mango, and Arbonne protein. It's very good, but all the fruits were frozen. It's super cold in here. And the water was cold too, the water that I poured in. Okay, this is a crucial turn. He drops the John Silver, putting on a lot of pressure with the John Silver. And I didn't want to risk him drawing into another location, dropping 2 locations, and questing with John Silver for 3. So I had to get that John Silver off the board. But luckily for us, we had to take out the location first, so that way his John Silver doesn't have any resist. Now we're going to shift the Tink. John Silver takes the damage. Fix-It Felix takes damage. We challenge into the Fix-It, and we deal 2 damage to the John Silver. Exactly 3 to banish both of his characters, putting us in heavy advantage. So now we're going to quest, full-on quest in. Whatever he plays out his next turn won't be enough to get him to game, because our following turn, it's GG's. We have enough questing power, especially with this piglet. We are good to go. He already used fire the cannon, so we should be chilling here. We have 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 questing power on board. And past turn, both of them were like, you have to put damage on Smee. And I was like, guys, relax. There's a piglet on the board. That was awesome. Let's go. Game, we got it. That is GG's. We have another game coming up. This is going to be game 2 of 3. This is best of 3, guys. So these are the guys we're just talking about, the plays and whatnot. Awesome commentary by these guys. All right. Our opponent starts with a Captain Hook. Very good 1-drop. He's playing on the defense. And we're going to start off with our Cinderella. We do have the Storm in hand. If he fired the cannons, I mean, that's Cindy down, which is fine. I thought it was perfect. Okay, so let's go over the mulligan really quick. I didn't see as much as I wanted to, as many early characters as I wanted to, but the Cinderella on 1 with the Storm, I definitely had to keep that. I also kept the Smee and the Lawrence. Everything else came after the mulligan, the 2 Mufasas and the 4-drop Tinkerbell. So he passes it up. This Pride Lands is very, very good because of its 7 willpower. We need exactly a Lawrence and a Smee on the field to deal with it. At least we were able to deal with his Captain Hook using our Storm, which is very, very clutch. Now he's going to gain a lot of advantage with that Pride Lands. Looking at his hand, he has the Fix-It Felix, the Hook, couple locations, the Dock. Let's see what he does on this turn. He could play a location for what? Actually, he already has the location, so he could play out his Fix-It Felix, drawing him a card. There you go. So he pays 2, draws a card because there is a location on the board. But yeah, this location deck is mega spicy, guys. I loved the fact that I got to play this on stream, and that's probably why they put us on stream. They're like, let's get these goofy decks on the stream for everyone to see. Very, very cool. We do have the Lawrence that we can play out on 3, which is going to be perfect for us. We deal 3 damage to the Pride Lands and our Cinderella. It's fine that we go into the Pride Lands. So I wanted to go into the Pride Lands to deal 4 damage, so that way next turn Smee can challenge Pride Lands and take it out, and we can use our Lawrence to banish anything else, like the Daisy Duck. So that's why I decided to challenge in with the Cinderella here. And unfortunately, we do see another Tinkerbell 4-drop. So we have 2 Uninkables in our hand, and we are not running that many Uninkables. I think we're at 4 with the Storm, 3 with the Tink, and 1 with the Chernobog. So we're at 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Uninkables, which is not bad. It does bring a lot of consistency into the deck, but sometimes you just see your Uninkables, and it just goes that way. So Smee does take a damage because there's no captain on the field. There's no piglet. I did think about running the Hook 1-drop in the deck, but I felt like the Daisy was just too good, and the Cinderella was also good into the steel decks. Captain Hook was not very good into the steel decks, but he does help the Smee, not getting the damage. But sometimes getting the damage from Smee is very good when you combine it with Rapunzel. Now our opponent's going to quest in with the Daisy deck, and we reveal, oh nice, an Ink and a draw possibly. All right, he's going wide. There's a lot of pressure on the board. And this is where he kind of turns the tides. Very hard to deal with. I was very stressed seeing the locations. There were points where I got tunnel vision, and also having the judge sitting right next to me. Thank you, Ms. Lorgains. Give you details about being next to a judge. Yeah, having the camera on me the whole time, looking at my hand, looking at my board, looking at me, plus the judge next to me put a lot of pressure. So there were times where I would do something or wait a long time before doing something because I didn't want to misplay. And there was a lot of lights. So I feel I feel the pressure on Alvaro too. Like we were both, you know, a little intensed out. Okay, so this turn is going to be very, very crucial. We can either handle his board or handle his locations. I feel like handling the board makes the most sense here. We do have a Rapunzel to heal up our Lawrence. Thinking through the sequencing on camera is very hard. Also because while you're thinking, if you take a little bit too much time to think, the judge pressures you to hurry up. It's like, I guess it makes sense. It doesn't make sense because we're being streamed. They don't want us taking like our sweet butt time thinking about our plays. They want a little bit of faster gameplay. But then on the other hand, it really throws us off because we feel rushed. We feel a little rushed. And I get it. It's fine. But there was only 1 or 2 times where it told me to hurry up. It wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad. She was nice. The judge was very nice. And I also forgot to update my lore sometimes. So my opponent would reach in and adjust the lore, or she would say, adjust your lore, please. And that also put a lot of pressure on me because I thought I was a little self-conscious having the camera on me and like forgetting to update the lore. Okay, so we ended up passing it here. We have a healed up Lawrence, and then he plays a dock. This is really, really good. He plays the location and the dock, so the pressure continues. He has 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lore on board. It's crazy how fast he can get stuff on the board. For the lore counter, there's an okay, so there's 2 things. You're keeping track on your pen and pad, so just like you normally do. But there's also an iPad where you click to increase your lore. So every time you gain lore, you write it down. The judge writes it down, and I increase it on my on the iPad. So this was a really tricky turn. Lawrence, let's see, what did I do here? Okay, so this is Alvaro's turn. Yeah, there was some really, really long turns here. So this is very good for him. He gets to challenge and take out my Lawrence for free. Daisy Duck survives. Is there a dream board link for the location deck? There is a dream board link, but you can also go to the start of the video, of this video, and I have the screenshot of both decks up. We'll find the links to the dream board and post it in the description down below for you guys. But you can always scroll back to the beginning of this live, and I have both of them up for you guys. Okay, so we end up cooking the Daisy. We need to slow down his lore gain. Daisy Duck puts 2 lore on board, so she was priority. We're not struggling to deal with locations now. And I quested in with Rapunzel because she's only 1 strength, and I didn't want to spend my time with her challenging into a location. And playing the Rapunzel was probably a mistake here because I would have put more pressure if I played a stronger character, if that makes sense. All right, so Alvaro has a cannon in his hand. I think he's gonna use it on my Smee or my Cindy. Cindy's not putting a lot of pressure now because we have other singers, so I don't think he saw value in banishing my Cinderella. He plays 1. Yeah, he fires the cannon on Mr. Smee, which is the right move because now he's playing his locations, a lot of willpower that we have to handle, and he just removed a 3-strength character. So I think this is a big mistake from my behalf on playing the Rapunzel as opposed to, say, a 3-strength character like Mufasa, or I believe I had a Chin-Po in my hand at that time too, which has 4 strength. So light misplay, but you know, we were able to see our plays a little better here. In that time, you kind of get tunnel vision sometimes, and also seeing 4 locations stress the heck out of me. Like having to deal with 4 locations is a lot of pressure. And also I want to give a big shout out to Paul for helping me maneuver and build some of this deck. He gave me a really clutch idea on playing the Storms, the Cindy, also the Tinkerbell. Edison, my dude, thank you, man. I appreciate you, Paul. Paul was my hype man. Like whenever I had questions, I would go to him. So I appreciate you, brother. All right. And guys, so we ended up getting streamed twice in a row, which was really cool. I did feel a little more confident on our second stream. The first one was brutal. It was brutal, very, very high pressure. But second one, you're kind of warmed up a little bit. It's still a high stretch situation, but you get slightly more confident, slightly more comfortable every time. Play Nation, thank you so much, brother. Appreciate you. Yeah, Amber Tinkerbell was an MVP, honestly. She did put in a lot of work. Sometimes I wish she was inkable, but there was more times where she just came down. We saw whatever we needed, even her shift or a Mufasa, and then we were good on turn 5 to drop either Mufasa, a Chimpo. So being able to search was very, very strong. We played the Chimpo because he has 4 strength, and I think, okay, this is where it gets a little tricky. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 questing power on board. Next turn, he would go to 19. And if I had quested here, I would have gone to up 2, 4, 5, 6. I would be at 8. And then the following turn, I would be at 19. Okay, so it was either questing or challenging here. And I think, I don't know if that was the right move. Sorry. Gesundheit, sorry. Okay. Dang. Thank you guys. This is where I started sweating. I saw the writing on the wall, especially when he dropped that drawn silver. I knew I was cooked. I didn't have enough strength or enough characters with power to deal with his board or deal with his locations. And this is where I was like, this is it. I was thinking, I don't have an out to this. There's too much going on. His locations, we can't take out all of them. Plus he has the John Silver on the board and the dock. So all he needed was two lore to win. Yeah, very, very tough situation. Very stressful situation here. I was like, no, 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 no. I was thinking to myself, I misplayed. I misplayed somewhere. I think there should have been a better line that I could have taken earlier. And it's tough when there's so much on the line. When you make any little misplay, it feels intensified. It's definitely higher stakes. We played the Tinkerbell. There's nothing in our deck that can save us, actually. But we ended up, yes, John Silver was checkmate here. So he top decked that, I believe, right? Because he has no cards in hand. He top decked into a John Silver. Had it been anything else, would have been a little bit different, but that's how it goes with this card game, guys. So I healed, hoping I draw into a strength, and we see the Smee. So we were like, that's it. Strength of a Raging Fire would have been clutch. But yeah, we don't see it. We end up seeing a Smee. We have a lot of questing power on board. We have 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 questing power on board, but just not enough to deal with his John Silver. And that is GG's. We have one more game, guys. Pressure was high, but I was going first. And this is where my brain had to turn into a different direction. I took my mulligan time. I took my time to shuffle to really think about what game plan to do into this last one. And you know what? I decided this was crazy, but I decided to go the aggro route. I was like, I'm gonna take my chances. I'm gonna go aggro, dump my hand. He plays daisies. Daisy's gonna refill our hand. Yeah, so I wanted to have access to Smees and the Lawrences. So for my mulligan, I kept the Daisy I kept the Smee. Everything else was just random cards that were too much of a late game. So I put him back so I can mulligan into my Lawrences and to more Smees. We do see we kept the Smee and the Daisy Duck. So at this point, I wanted to just aggro him out. We're going first, and you know when you're going first, you have better chances of winning, getting to 20 as fast as you can. We did see a big Chernobog and a Storm. So I was a little worried that our game plan wasn't going to go through. He plays the Smee, so it's the mirror. It's the mirror right now. They're just such good cards. We see the Lawrence off the top, though, so that was really, really good. I was stoked to see the Lawrence. And in this game, Pete's not really doing much. Doc, we don't need the ramp. We need strong characters. I go Daisy first to see what he draws into. Fix-It Felix, he hits a character, which is bad for us, good for him. We want to see locations. He's playing 28 locations plus 4 Fire the Cannons, so the odds of us hitting a non-character with Daisy are high, but sometimes you just don't hit it. We ink the Pete because he's not doing anything in this matchup besides the cannons, which aren't really a big issue. And we play out the Lawrence. We have the perfect curve here, guys. The Daisy Duck into Smee into Lawrence. We're representing 6 lore on board. So this is where I decided to not deal with his board because we want him to deal with our board. Since we are going first, he's going to be responding to everything that we do. And if we put on a lot of pressure and we have game on board, he has to deal with our board. So us trading with his characters are not good in this situation. Quest with Daisy. Hope we hit a character off the Daisy. Tinkerbell. This is still good because if we get to a point where we can shift or just play her out, she's going to be very, very clutch. Plus she has 4 strength and she deals the best with characters. Look at his hand. Look at his hand. Look how insane his hand looks. He has 2 Daisies, locations, a bunch of Uninkables, and a Smee. That is so crazy. He probably plays a Smee and a Daisy Duck here. All right. High stress situation, guys. I was like, if we keep this up, we should be in a good place. But him dropping the Smee and the Daisy, this is where my brain started to malfunction because I was not expecting so much character pressure. Him putting 4 lore on board beats my 6. He has 8 lore on board. I only have 6. I'm thinking if I race him, I should be in a decent spot. So he sees Nottingham. Nottingham's going to go to the bottom of his deck with the Daisy. And this is where I decide to play out a Doc because Doc can ramp us into the Tinkerbell if we need her to come down. And his Smee is going to take damage. So Tinkerbell's going to be clutch. We also have a Storm. If we absolutely need to use the Storm, we will. But my game plan here was to just quest in with every single character and try to race him to 20. I was thinking about challenging or not. Yeah. Wait, both should be at 6? I think there was a delay. Yeah, there was a bit of a lore lag. And in this last game, there's a bit of a lore lag. So we do update, though. We do update. Okay, there you go. So I go up to 12, putting us in a really good spot. Now he has to deal with our board, which is very, very good because it's going to slow down his lore games. Also, guys, I want to shout out to all of our new members. Guys, we are making history. We have so many OG members, and guys, we've only been around for 4 months. Like our channel's only been around for 4 months, and I appreciate all of you guys, especially big shout out to our Phil's trainees. Thank you guys for subbing and subbing up to our membership. Phil's trainees, you guys get access to that cool badge. You guys also get access to the cool emojis in the chat. Okay. So yeah, he quests in. I think he should have banished my Lawrence. I think he needed to take care of my Lawrence here. Maybe going Daisy Duck into Lawrence and then finishing off with Smee for free. So now He's putting so much pressure on the board, but I already had my game plan set. I had my game plan set. Tinkerbell had to do some work here. And I had lethal on board, so he absolutely had to deal with my board. And he does. He takes off 2 lore from my field, or from my side. Now we just have to question with everything. We probably do challenge. We might have to challenge here after the Tinkerbell. So he has 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10 lore on board. So we have to take 4 lore off of his field. No, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. He has 10 on board. So yeah, so we have to take off 4. So we put him on 6 lore. And this is where I was thinking really, really hard about what to do. But yeah, he has 12 with locations. No, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. He has 10 with locations. 10 lore on board with locations. So this is where Tinkerbell comes down, deals the damage to Daisy and Smee, taking them both out. Now he has 2, 4. Oh yeah, I missed the one Daisy. Now he has 2, 4, 6, 8 lore on board. He has lethal. So this is where we have to challenge in. This is where I took extra time to think about my play. And I knew I had to clear his Smee, but I wanted to take extra time to think about it. Daisy Duck has to challenge into Smee, then Lawrence quests, and is going to put us at... I don't think the lore is updated yet. Yeah, we're going to take a big think here. I didn't want to do anything without thinking it twice, because this is make or break. We're so close to the end. And also, I don't think I gained the lore off of the dock here. I should be at 14. I should be at 14 lore. There was just so much going through my head that I would forget to update the lore. But we do update in a second. Yeah, I was pointing at the dock. And this is where we update and we go up to the 14. Now we're updated. Now we're up to everything. And this is where the Daisy is going to put in work, taking his 2 lore off the board by banishing Smee. Now they only have 6. They can go up to 18. We question with Lawrence. This puts us at 14. And we have 2, 4, 6, 8 lore on board. 14 lore. Crazy, guys. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Yeah, it's the streams. Yeah, so I think we update the streams on the game. So here we go. We're at 16. He's at 14. He only has 2, 4, 6 lore on board. We have 2, 4, 6, 8 lore on board. Let's see. What does he have? He has a dock, a John Silver, and a location in his hand. He could ink, play the dock, and draw into 2 fire the cannons. He cussed here. He's like, oh, F word. And he's like, oh, can they hear me? And they're like, no. The commentators are talking over the audio. I was so like, oh my God, this is it. This is like, if this goes through, we win. If this goes through, we win. If he can't deal with our board, it's GG's and we make it to top 16. This moment was, there you go. That's GG's, guys. Top 16. We did it. We made it to top 16. We got the invite to Continentals. So freaking cool. Let me see if I can turn on the audio for you guys.
Room of the rest of the list in the top 32. So unfortunately, one of them has to go in terms of our rogue decks that showed up.
Can you guys hear that?
Yeah, I thought Alvin played fantastic.
Yeah, Alvin able to get into that top 16 here, guaranteeing that invite to Continentals.
Ooh, yeah, we saw him have a really dynamic game plan. Game 1 and Game 2 was on the much more controlling route, and then shifted into a more aggressive route in Game 1. Anyway, let's head to a quick interview with our winner, and then we'll come back for our next match.
Alrighty.
Well, Illumineers, I am here.
Cool. So that was game, guys. Such an awesome, intense game. That was incredible. That was an incredible feeling, just winning that match in top 32. You want me to play the interview? Okay, we can play it.
are back with Alvin, who just won his top 32 match. That means you are top 16, sir. You've earned an invite to the championships. How are you feeling about that?
We're going to Disney. Yeah. Let's go. We're going to drive there because we live in LA. So it's going to be a really short drive. And I'm so stoked. I didn't realize I made top 16 until I got here and you told me. I was like, oh my God, that's so true. I made it.
You made it. And you made it playing against a really interesting deck, that locations deck with 28 locations. Was that a deck that you expected to see? And what were your thoughts during that match?
Definitely. I really planned going into this weekend that I was going to see that deck. Not just kidding. No way. There was no way in my brain that I would have thought that would have been a thing. I thought red steel locations would be a thing, but amber steel locations, very, very spicy. So shout out to you, man, for building that amazing deck and making it all the way to top 32. Yeah. So yeah, that was amazing.
Now on your side of the board, there's one card in particular you said that did a lot of work, and that is Tinkerbell. Can you talk a little bit about how Tinkerbell came in to help you take this win?
So Tinkerbell is a 4-drop. When you play her, she looks at the top 4 characters of your deck and you add a character. She is also a shift target for Big Tink. So I ended up shifting, dealing damage, challenging, dealing more damage to clear the board, and then we were golden to quest in the next turn for game. Also in game 3, she came in clutch, played her, removed some of the board, so that way they didn't have game for next turn, and we ended up taking it there. So she was amazing. MVP for sure.
MVP, like you said, golden. And your next match, you're actually going to be playing for that golden Mickey. So we hope you do well in the next round. Good luck to you, Alvin, and thanks for chatting with me.
Thank you so much, and shout out to all of my community. I love you guys. Appreciate all the support, and thanks to Ravensburger Disney for organizing these amazing events, and to you for interviewing everyone and being here and being amazing.
Thank you so much. We'll send it on back to you.
All right.
All right, rest in peace, Golden Mickey. Oh man, don't remind me. Yeah, that was an awesome game. Very cool guy. Everybody that I played at DLC Challenge Seattle was amazing. Great attitudes. Shout out to all of my opponents for being so cool. I appreciate you guys. What happened in top 8? Ant, very good question. So top 8, I didn't get streamed, or top 16, yeah. Top 16, I didn't get streamed, but I got paired up against Mr. Wonderland, the first place guy. I forgot, Luke. So I got paired up against Luke. He was playing Green Steel, which is one of my tougher matchups because we're not running much removal. Amber Steel and Amber Steel Songs are my toughest matchups. It's just very hard to deal with the removal. It's very hard to deal with removal because we are a very heavy character deck. So we ended up playing Luke. I sat down. I was like, dude, this is going to be a crazy game. This is for top 8. And he was going first. So he went first. He saw the nuts. He saw the Diablo turn 1, shifted. He had, I believe, Morph on turn 2. So he had the Diablo on turn 2. And after that, it was GG's. There was no coming back from that. He shifted his beast, and after that was it for game 1. Game 2 was also very rough. He saw so I tried being aggressive. I played all my characters. He played his Ursula 3-drop. He played a Morph on 2. He played Ursula on 3. And on 4, he had Shift Tink and Sing Storm or Strength. It was one of the songs, and that cleared my board. The following turn, he had the Tink, and my hand was depleted. I was top taking at that point, so it was very, very rough to come back from that one. And after that, you know how it goes. He took the game from there, but I tried hard. I put in a lot of work, and it got me to top 16. It got me the invite. And I was happy. Like, I left the table so happy. I got to my team, or got to my group of friends. I was smiling. And they're like, dude, you won? I said, no, I didn't win. But I was happy because I had made top 16. Like, even though I lost, I was so happy that I made it to where I did. And I was just very blessed to make it that far. So it was already it's a blessing to make it that far and to play a deck that you enjoy playing. Like, I I wanted to play Ember Steel Songs because I figured Ember Steel Songs is more competitive. It has a better chance against Green Steel. And, you know, with my community, you guys asked me to play Steel Fossa the week prepping up to Seattle. You guys asked me to play Mufasa, so I listened to you guys. I played Mufasa, I practiced with it, and I said, okay, well, you guys enjoy seeing me play this, so I'm just going to take it and have fun with it. Because I do have a lot of fun playing with Mufasa. And round after round, we got 4 wins in the first 4 rounds, which was insane. We were undefeated for 4 rounds. Then we got paired up against, no I'm not, Kendall Burdett. He plays Ruby Amethyst. He's a very strong player. He's well known in the community. He ended up making first seed or second seed. He ended up making second seed after the 9 rounds in at the DLC. So very strong player. He too owed me. So that's when everything kind of, like, my confidence went down a bit. I did get 2-0'd one more time. I tied. And then for the last, let's see, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then for the last 2 rounds, I won. So I ended up with a record of 6 wins, 2 losses, and 1 tie after the whole DLC event. I was at 45 points. That is the bubble for top 64. So we were waiting after everybody had finished the games. My whole team, my whole group and I were waiting to see if I got in. And then somebody in our group shouted out, "You got 61st." And I was like, no freaking way. So we got 61st. We ended up making day 2, which was incredible. We were on the draw for all of our matches. I was on the draw for all of my matches, but, you know, I ended up winning 2 rounds, which was awesome. That was awesome. It was such a blessing. Like, I'm so grateful for, you know, being able to make it that far. And big shout out to Miss Lorgains and all my friends that were with me there. They were so supportive. They were all watching the stream when they were showing it on the big screen. It was very cool hearing them shout and just chant after every round. I was on the stream because when I get streamed, they can see it on the outside, but it's delayed by like 10 seconds. So whenever I would win, 10 seconds after, everyone would just lose it and scream. So yeah, that's how it goes. I want to just recap really quick and read some of these messages that I might have missed. So, Fallen Angel, I have a friend winning the Mirabo with the Princess deck. That's so cool. I think the Princess deck is very, very cool. Every dog has his day. Yeah, I think I know what that means. But yeah, exactly. JVG, hello Alvin, congrats. I'm from the SGV, play at Wildcard at DXN. Wildcard, is that in LA? Fallen Angel, you played every Mufasa deck, but not a red Mufasa. Most say this is the strongest Mufasa deck. I played Mufasa. I played red Mufasa for set all the time. I played it for set as soon as it came out. Set 3, set 2. I played it set 2, 3, 4. I didn't play it for 5 though. So I have a lot of Mufasa, red Mufasa experience, and I just want to experiment and try a few different things. So that's why I went with Steel Fossa, Green Fossa, Purple Fossa. Now we have to do Mono Yellow Fossa. Yeah. Did I get to play against Zan? Sorry, I skipped one. Ant, losing to the champ is always a W. Yes, I win or lose, I always have a really, really good time. And I'm always grateful for being able to play with very high competitors, very strong competitors. Did I get to play against Zan, Ariel? I didn't. No, I didn't get to play against him. Not in Swiss. Yeah, not at all. I did see him close by though when we were in Swiss. I did see him in close by. I got to experience on round 4 sitting at, okay, so this is a funny story, guys. Funny story. On round 5, we were undefeated. We got matched up against Kendall Burdett. Again, awesome competitor. We were chosen to get streamed. I guess they wanted to stream because, you know, he's a well-known player. So they brought us up to get streamed, and I had my Lorgain sweater. we sat down. There was like the camera and everything was set up. The lights exactly how you saw earlier in the stream. Everything was set up. We sat down, and then they said, "Oh, you can't wear that sweater." I was like, "All right, that's fine. I have a black plain shirt underneath." They're like, "Okay." I'm like, "Cool." I sat down. They look at my hat. They're like, "Is that Mickey?" I was like, "Yeah, this is Mickey." They're like, "All right, you're good." Sit down. I take out my deck. I set it down on the table, and they're like, "Oh no, yeah, we're not gonna have you on stream with that deck." I'm like, no. But yeah, we still got stream day 2, so that was a win, and we got some really cool decks. We got to play some really cool decks, so that was also another win. But very, very cool, guys. Let's see, any other questions, guys? Blue Fossa. I did play Blue Fossa, and it didn't do too well, but I tried it, and I had a lot of fun with it. Yeah, Blue Fossa was a tough one. I mean, I thought it was a fun deck. I didn't play it too much. How did you get stream day 2, not 1? I know, it's crazy, right? Like, how does that happen? All right, guys. You guys have any questions? Also, I want to just really quick say, qualified for Continentals. Julian, yes, we did get the Continentals invite, which is going to be in January at Disney. Very, very stoked for that. Ariel, they didn't want to advertise for Batman at Disney event. Yeah, I know. I get it why they didn't want to show it. I just thought it was funny that they didn't want to show it. But you know, yeah, I'm totally okay with it's their rules, whatever they say, right? Let's see. You had Blue Fossa. France, a Blue Fossa got in the top 32 with the 500 people tournament. No way. That's so cool. Fallen Angel. So what was their, do you know what their Blue Mufasa list was like? Like, do you know what cards they were playing, or do you have a list? Like, I would love to check it out. I feel like that'd be cool to see a Blue Fossa list. Like, I don't have much. I didn't have much experience with the Blue Fossa, but yeah. Very cool. Ink decks? Okay, I'll check it out. Yeah. All right, guys. But yeah, before we sign out, big shout out to everyone, to my community. I really, really appreciate you guys. If you haven't smashed that sub button, smash it. We're going to be back in here tomorrow. Tomorrow we have something. Let's see, what's tomorrow? Tomorrow is Thursday. Yeah, we're going to be going live tomorrow for some live gameplay. I have something that I've been cooking up. I've been in the lab, chef's hat on and everything. I cooked something up that I really want to show you guys tomorrow. So make sure to tune in, sub to the channel, smash that like button. Brian, thank you so much. I'm glad it was entertaining for you guys. I'm really good at it. And I'm glad I got to play Alvaro, awesome player, and that we got streamed for you guys to see and everything. Like, you guys see me play here, but you know, it's crazy when there's so much high stakes on there. But yeah, guys, if you want to become a member, check the description. Hit us up. If you want to become a member, you get early access to videos. You get these really cool icons like Mix Up Mark has here. You can also put, I think it's really cool. You can also put these really cool emojis. Mark, if you want to throw some gang signs in there with the Mickey emojis. Oh yeah, press the join button to learn more. Exactly. Click the join button to learn more. Those are the emojis. So you can do like these cool Mickey emojis that I think is awesome. Miss Lorgane's cooked these up just for you guys. Super, super cool. I like this one. This is my favorite. I used to do this a lot. What a nerd. But other than that, guys, appreciate all of your support. Thanks for hopping on today and watching our stream. It's always a pleasure hanging out with you guys, and it's always a pleasure seeing your comments. And yeah, I will see you all tomorrow, we will be here tomorrow for a live stream. Am I missing anything, Ms. Lorgains? I think I covered everything, right? You posted the link? Awesome. Thank you, Fallen Angel. Appreciate it. Let me just read one more. I have gone back and forth 100 times in Beast being in this deck. It's the one card I'm still unsure about. Yeah, same. I'm still unsure about Beast. It's Beast in the deck is, in theory, it sounds great, right? But I don't know. I took him out. I'm trying something else, but yeah, we'll chat about it. We'll chat about the Steel Fossilist and maybe subbing out the Beast. Mixed Up Marco, thank you. So tomorrow at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, we are going live. So make sure to tune in, guys. We're going to have a good time, as always. And I am Lorgains, a.k.a. Alvin. Should be the other way around, right? Lorgains, a.k.a. Alvin, signing out. Appreciate you guys. Peace.